There's a unique satisfaction that comes with selling something online. You declutter your life, you put a little extra cash in your pocket, and you connect with someone who will give your old possession a new home. It feels like a win-win. Now imagine this. You sell an item for $400. The buyer seems friendly, enthusiastic. A few days later, a check arrives in the mail, but it's not for $400. It's for $1,900. Your first thought is that it's a mistake. Your second thought is that it's your lucky day. You feel a small thrill of excitement, of unexpected good fortune. But what if that lucky break is actually the snap of a carefully set trap? What if the extra money in your hand is the bait, and you are the one being reeled in? You just sold something on Facebook Marketplace. The buyer sent you too much money. Surprise, you're the one about to be scammed. This is the story of the generous buyer. Tom Henderson was a man who appreciated good sound. At 64, the recently retired high school music teacher had spent a lifetime collecting and cherishing high-fidelity audio equipment, but his wife Helen had recently launched Operation Declutter, and his beloved room-sized Marantz stereo system from the 1970s was her prime target. With a heavy heart, Tom agreed it was time for it to find a new home. He took some careful photos, wrote a detailed, loving description of the stereo's warm sound, and listed it on Facebook Marketplace. The price, $400 for local pickup only. For a few days, he got the usual low-ball offers and questions. Then a message popped up from a profile named Linda Jackson. Her profile picture was a pleasant-looking woman in her 50s, smiling with her family. The profile was a little sparse, but it looked real enough. "Hi there," the message read. "Is this beautiful stereo system still available? It's exactly what I've been looking for to give to my son for his birthday." Tom, a father himself, felt a warmth in his chest. "Yes, it is, Linda. It's a fantastic system." Linda was enthusiastic and polite. She didn't haggle over the price. But then came the first small complication. "Here's the thing," she wrote. "My son lives in Colorado, and I'm currently on a business trip in Florida. I won't be able to pick it up myself. Would it be okay if I mail you a check? Once it clears, I'll have a shipping agent from a local moving company come to your home to professionally pack it and ship it to my son. I will, of course, cover all the costs." Tom was hesitant. It sounded complicated, but Linda seemed so genuine. So the first psychological trigger, a plausible, sympathetic story, a gift for a son, a busy work schedule, it all sounds perfectly normal and creates a connection. "I usually just do cash for local pickup," Tom replied. "I completely understand." Linda typed back. "But my son is a musician, and he would be absolutely thrilled with this. Please let me make it easy for you." Her persistence and kindness wore him down. He agreed. He gave her his name and address for the check. A few days later, a priority mail envelope arrived. Inside was a cashier's check. Tom looked at it, and his brow furrowed in confusion. It wasn't for $400. It was $400. It was for $1,900.00. He immediately messaged Linda. "Linda, there's been a big mistake. The check you sent is for $1,900, not $400. Her reply was swift and full of flustered apologies. "Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. My assistant must have made a mistake and combined the payment for the stereo with the payment for the shipping agent. What a mess. I'm so embarrassed." This is the core of the deception, the believable mistake. It reframes the overpayment not as a red flag, but as a simple human error that the victim can now help to solve. She continued, "Could you please do me a huge favor? It would save me so much trouble. Could you just deposit the check into your account? That's the money is there. You can keep your $400 for the stereo. And then send the extra $1,500 to the shipping agent, Mike. He needs the funds to schedule the pickup. I'll send you his Zelle information. You would be a lifesaver." The request put Tom in the position of power. He wasn't a victim. He was the helpful problem solver. It played perfectly on his good nature. It seemed logical. He had the money in his possession. What was the risk? The next morning, Tom went to his local bank and deposited the $1,900 cashier's check. The teller accepted it without issue. The very next day, Tom checked his online banking app. He saw the full $1,900 listed in his available balance. This is the single most misunderstood and most exploited flaw in the American banking system. By federal law, banks are required to make funds from deposited checks available to the customer within a day or two. But available does not mean cleared. It can take days or even weeks. For a check to actually work its way through the system and for the bank to discover it's a fake. But to Tom, seeing the money in his account was the ultimate proof. The check was good. The funds were real. He was safe. Feeling confident, he opened his Zelle app. He entered the name and phone number for Mike, the shipping agent that Linda had provided. The money was gone from his account in an instant. Zelle, like Cash App or Venmo, is an instant transfer. It is the digital equivalent of handing someone a stack of cash. It is irreversible. He messaged Linda. All done. I've sent the money to Mike. Let me know when he'll be by to pick up the stereo. Thank you so much, Tom. You're a true gentleman, she replied. We'll be in touch within 24 hours to schedule. Tom felt good. He had sold his beloved stereo to a good home and helped a nice woman out of a jam. He waited. 24 hours passed. No call from Mike. He messaged Linda. No reply. 48 hours passed. He messaged her again. Hi, Linda. Just checking in. The message was delivered, but not read. He tried calling the phone number associated with her Zelle's account. It went straight to a generic voicemail. Cold, uneasy feeling started to creep over him. He went back to her Facebook profile. It was gone. The page now read, "This content isn't available right now." The final devastating blow came a week later. It was an official letter from his bank. Dear Mr. Henderson, we are writing to inform you that the cashier's check for $1,900 you deposited on November 10th has been returned as fraudulent. The funds have been debited from your account. In addition, a return check fee of $35 has been assessed. He stared at the letter, his mind struggling to process the words. He logged into his bank account. The $1,900 was gone. And so was the $1,500 of his own money that he had sent to the phantom shipping agent. He hadn't sold anything. He hadn't made $400. He had been robbed of $1,535. And the beautiful Marantz stereo system was still sitting in his living room, a silent monument to his own deception. Tom was the victim of a classic overpayment scam, also known as a fake check scam. It is a brilliant piece of social engineering, because it turns the victim into an unwitting accomplice in their own robbery. Let's break down the mechanics. First, the core deception, the float. The entire scam hinges on the victim's misunderstanding of the float period in banking. Scammers know that the bank will give you access to the funds long before the check is actually verified. They use this time window to trick you into sending them real, untraceable money before you or the bank discover the original check was a worthless piece of paper. Second, the psychological triggers. 1. The good deal. The buyer agrees to your price quickly, making you eager to complete the sale. 2. The sob story. They create a plausible, often emotional reason for the complicated transaction, making you want to help, the position of power, by accidentally sending you too much money. They make you feel like you are the one in control and that you are doing them a favor. 4. The illusion of safety. Seeing the money in your bank account bypasses all your logical red flags. It feels real, so you act as if it is. 5. The use of irreversible payment. They always insist on you sending the extra money back via an instant, non-refundable method like Zelle, Venmo, Cash App, or a wire transfer. They know once that money is sent, it's gone forever. How to protect yourself on Facebook Marketplace and similar platforms. Asterisk rule number 1. Never accept overpayment. Full stop. There is no legitimate reason a buyer would ever send you more money than you asked for. If a check arrives for the wrong amount, tear it up. It is a 100% guaranteed scam. Asterisk rule number 2. Cash is king for in-person sales. If you are meeting locally, only accept cash. Inspect the bills. For larger amounts, meet at a bank where the bills can be verified. Asterisk rule number 3. Do not accept checks or money orders. Period. Forgery is too easy, and the risks are too high. If a buyer insists on a check, it's a scam. Asterisk. Rule number 4. Keep it simple. Refuse any transaction that involves complicated stories, third-party agents, or you having to forward money to someone else. The more complex the story, the more likely it is a scam. Asterisk rule number 5. Use secure, protected payment platforms for shipped items. If you are shipping an item, use a platform with built-in seller protection, like PayPal, Goods and Services, never Friends and Family or eBay's managed payments. These services hold the money and protect you from fraudulent payments. The generosity of a stranger can be a beautiful thing. But in the world of online marketplaces, an overly generous buyer is not a blessing. They are a predator in disguise, and their generosity is the bait in a trap designed to snap shut on your bank account. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for listening to True Scam Stories.